maybe your purpose in life isn't related to your job. Maybe your job is your job, and the job is the thing that supports you. And then the rest of your waking hours are devoted to your purpose, whatever that is. And it's beautiful when it happens, but it doesn't always happen, and it's out of our control also. We can decide. I would say, if you need to have a job to support yourself, that's great. That's a noble thing to do. And follow your dreams. But I'm not saying they're one thing. They don't have to be one thing. And don't let following your dreams undermine your ability to support yourself.
Contemplate the price you pay for inaction. So I think a lot of the time we presume that inaction has no cost, that it's like an impartial strategy, and it can cause us to continue to manana decisions. But it does. Inaction does have a cost, because your attention is the most important thing that you have. And it's not time. People think that time is the most important resource you have in life. It's not. It's attention. Because you can spend your time in ways where your attention is captured such that you didn't enjoy the time or realize the time has passed. So contemplate the price that you pay for inaction. It's a justification for you doing things sooner rather than later, and committing.
And you're going to fail, 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 and then you're going to win. And that's life. Life without those challenges, it's just existence. Don't just exist. Go live. Eventually, inaction will cost you. Just get up, move towards that challenge, whatever that challenge is. Move towards that challenge and go attack it. And you may be successful, and you may not be successful, but you will be better.
Life is a range of emotions. To not want to experience something, one, is inevitable, but two, it's the fear of the pain that comes attached to that you don't want. When you understand that that's naturally a part of life, you embrace it and you navigate through it, because that's what life has to offer you. And the fact that you're alive and you get to experience it is the gift, whether it at the time seems enjoyable or not. You chase things that you can't catch. You don't chase things that belong to you. Right? So people chase happiness because they think that that's what they need, when in reality, happiness is just a byproduct of becoming the best version of yourself. So instead of chasing the emotion, become the type of person that is experiencing that emotion, and you can be in that state more consistently.
As your courage grows so that you can confront more and more of the horror of life, that a spirit begins to develop within you that gives you a strength that's commensurate with your daring, that's walking with God. That's the same thing. So the promise is that if you had the courage, something would be with you to allow you to bear up nobly under the burden.
Life is a crazy roller coaster, especially this life, you know, so we've ups, we've downs, but I find I'm at my best when I set out, when I say, and when I must do something and I know I must do it, and I do it, I execute it. And
justice is when you get what you deserve. Mercy is when you don't get what you deserve. He said, but grace is different from both of them. Grace is when you get what you don't deserve. Do you understand that? God has this thing that he passes out called grace. He passes it out, and he gives you things you don't deserve.
I don't care who you are, how much money you have, what you have going on. When you get out of bed every day, life is standing right there to punch you in the mouth. And, you know, you have to overcome all these different struggles in life every day. Right. I actually love when adversity is thrown at me and I have to deal with this stuff. And it's one of my favorite things to do. So I'm a little sick and twisted, and I like the conflict every day. I like powering through the challenges that life throws at you every day. It's like one of my favorite things to do.
I found out that your worst enemy is you and your ability to stay true to the thing that you want to do. If you lie to yourself and cheat yourself, well, then you're not fooling anybody but yourself. But if you actually get up every day and you got that action And you got that energy that's like, I have to go and do this because I'm trying to get here. And you know, every day you're working towards that, well, you're gonna get there. It may take you longer, some may do it shorter, but you're not going to lose.
There's two pains in life, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. He goes, discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. You know, and
Yeah,
so
well
I've trained myself to do that. First thing I do is always whatever's the most difficult.
Yes.
Because then you have momentum for your day. And when you train your brain to do what's difficult first, then emotional fitness just comes naturally. And more importantly, so does achievement, so does your ability to contribute to other people.
The human mind can only really grow through resistance. You can only strengthen your character and become a really strong person inside if you have resistance, if you fail, if you get up again, and if you work hard, and if you work your ass off, and if you struggle. The more you struggle, the further you're going to go and the stronger you're going to get. So it's just the way the rule works. Anyone that tries to baby themselves and pamper themselves and trying to protect themselves, oh, I don't want to feel bad, oh, I don't really want to go through any discomfort, it's over. You're never going to get there. That's just the way it is. I mean, you have to be able to struggle, and if you're not able to, work on that. Work on that you're learning how to accept pain, misery, and discomfort, all of the things that you don't like, because the more you experience the things that you really don't like, the more you can grow, and the tougher you get, and the more you can handle.
Just because something is hard to obtain does not mean that it is valuable.
Just because something is hard to obtain doesn't mean it's valuable.
Correct. Yeah, just because it's difficult to get doesn't mean that it's valuable. Look at the car he's driving, look at the watch he's wearing, look at the girl he's with. These things were hard to obtain, so you presumed that they were valuable, but you didn't realize that what's genuinely valuable are friendships and relationships and a comfort and a confidence in yourself and peace of mind and sanity and being able to positively impact the people around you.
So motivation isn't what we are relying on, and we can't rely on motivation because, like I said, if you and I got to get in the water to go conduct an operation, the motivation to do that will be zero, might even be -9, might be -12, might be -1,000, and you know what? Doesn't matter. You and I are going to go do what we have to do. You have to train yourself. You have to train the soldier in your mind to obey those direct orders when they come, and that is the foundation of discipline. I'm scared, I'm afraid, I'm nervous, I'm hesitant, I'm not sure if I want to do this, I'm second guessing, all those little things. They're just overridden by one thing and one thing only, discipline, and that's what it's going to take.
I think there's many, many meanings of life. I think there's a way to navigate life that's enjoyable. I think it requires many things. It requires, first of all, it requires love. You have to have loved ones, you have to have family, you have to have friends, you have to have people that care about you, and you have to care about them. I think that is primary. Then it also requires interests. There has to be things that stimulate you. Now, it could be just a subsistence lifestyle. There's many people that believe and practice this lifestyle of just living off the land and hunting and fishing and living in the woods, and they seem incredibly happy.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, I think you need something that is interesting to you, something that you're passionate about. And there's far too many people that get sucked into living a life where you're just doing a job. You're just showing up and putting in your time and then going home, but you don't have a passion for what you're doing. And I think that's the recipe for a boring and very unfulfilling life.
We're built to walk uphill. And when you reach the pinnacle of the hill, you want to stop and appreciate the vision, but the next thing you want is a higher hill in the distance, because it's from the uphill climb that we derive our value. And I mean this technically. So almost all the positive emotion we feel, that's experienced in relationship to a goal. And so in some sense, you want a goal that you can never attain, right? So you can always move closer to the goal that recedes as you move towards it. You think, well, that's frustrating. It's like Sisyphus pushing the rock uphill. But it's not, because as you pursue that goal, you put yourself together and your life does get better and richer and more abundant.
And so as long as you can be in a place where you're constantly looking to the next place, next place, next place, next place, and you don't let anything get in the way of that or hinder that, then you have a really good chance to be everything you ever wanted to be in life.
Perfection does not exist. I do firmly stand on that and believe that.
Absolutely.
It doesn't exist, man. You should try your hardest to get things right in moments where you got them wrong. Figure out how to never get them wrong again. That's the world of compromise. That's the world of growth. That's the world of evolvement.
I think the easiest thing in life is to give up on whatever you're focused on or whatever you're hopeful for. The hardest thing is to continue to keep going, but we have to. Like, we have to continue to hold on. And I would imagine for so many people out there, that is probably the most difficult thing.
You don't need enemies. Compete against you.
Like that.
Once you compete against you, you're gonna always win because you trying to get better every day.
Mm-hmm.
So you in competition all the time. Them enemies over there take you off your course. Now you start thinking like them, you start doing goofy shit like them, and now you not you. Long as you remain you, and you competing with you every day, you're gonna get better. You're gonna get great. You're gonna master you.
Listen, man, I didn't take life serious till I was 32. One day at 32, I found myself fucking broke. I mean, living from fucking garbage can to mouth, pretty much. You know, had a refrigerator that only had Snapple in it and beer. Never was there food in that fucking thing. I lived in a one-bedroom, pretty much studio apartment. I had a TV, I had cable, but I was living like Rocky Balboa, which there's nothing wrong like that. But they didn't put you on this planet just to give up.
When you're dealing with somebody that love you for you and want you to be happy, I mean, you start doing things to make yourself happy. When you always living to please others, you're gonna always be in a constant state of depression because you're never doing nothing for you. When you start doing things for you to make you happy, then you can make somebody else happy because you're happy.
It's really just a journey of evolution every day. It's just constant improvement, constant curiosity, constantly getting better. The results don't really matter. It's the figuring out that matters. You're out running on a track, working out, and you start talking to yourself saying, man, my knee is really sore right now. Maybe I'm doing too much.
Sounds like me.
Maybe I need to back off, you know. Man, my lungs are burning. Maybe I can just slow down here. I'll do like an extra 2 sets tomorrow. You know, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Right? That sort of stuff.
Yes.
Like, that stuff's dangerous.
Yes.
And that's when you just got to say, you know what? I'm not negotiating with myself.
Yeah.
The deal was already made. The deal was made. When I set out at the beginning of the summer and said, this is the training plan I'm doing, I signed that contract with myself. I'm doing it. You know, throughout that process, you'll start talking to yourself like, man, I think I need to, maybe if we, nope. No, this is non-negotiable.
Yeah, non-negotiable.
You need a massive action plan. You got to get yourself in action, not wait till everything's perfect. And if you try something and it doesn't work, try something else. If that doesn't work, try something else. Most people try it didn't work, and they give up. It's like I said to people, how long would you give your average child to learn how to walk? You know, before you cut them off and said, dude, you're just not a walker.
You need to love pain to be an athlete. And I know no pain, no this, whatever, all the, you know, the,
correct.
Oh my, no, this is real. You need to love pain. However, mentally, physically, love it. You need to love it. If not, stay where you are.
You ever had a gut feeling that maybe you were meant for more, but you weren't really sure what the next best steps were to achieve it? Me too. So what's your more? What's your destination? And I'm not talking about just more money or more things. I'm also talking about more love, more joy, more choice, more balance, more trust. What's your more?
You will never feel ready to do things that scare you. You will never feel ready to jump off the cliff. You will never feel ready to take that leap. And the reason why is based on science and research. Your brain is designed to protect you, and change requires risk. And so you are protecting yourself by saying maybe tomorrow.
You gotta be willing to do the work. You can speak about it all day. The easiest thing in the world to do is to complain, blame, and quit and settle. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. But it takes real work to deconstruct and to reconstruct the thought process and the mindset of an individual when they're trying to change something. That's why I always say to people, what's more important? What we acquire or who we become, right? What's more important, what we acquire or who we become? Materialistic, superficial, it's cool. But the people that we become, the thoughts we think, the words we speak, that's something that's gonna travel with us forever.
More men realizing that it's not just about the car, the watch, the possessions, working until my eyes bleed. Obviously, the finance is what most people think about, right? Well, if I just make good money, I'll be a good provider as a man. Most men think that they're relegated to just being a provider, but there's more to being a man, you know. There is more to being a man. What about a level of faith, as in confidence in yourself, faith in a higher power, that there's a path for you, right? Faith in your friends and your circle of influence.
I don't care if I lose everything. I don't care what happens. Nothing really is ours anyway in life. We only borrow it till we die, and it all goes. The only thing we truly own in this life is moments in time. And this is a moment in time for me that will never be erased. And no matter what happens, this is always going to be my time. This will be my moment in time because I lived here and I was a part of this. You know, everything else, this bag, this watch, these clothes, they will all go. What does it really matter?
Should is just like the expectation motor of like all of our psyches. You should go to school. You should get a degree. You should do this job. You should marry her. You shouldn't stay up so late. You shouldn't work so hard. You should be more balanced. You shouldn't be working out so much. You're not working out. Like there's all these shoulds that other people tell us. And it's like, and you zoom out and then you see that it's a galaxy with a little dot of dust. It's like, should what? There is no should. Do what you want to do.